Welcome to another edition of Misery Zone. My name's Kurt Burdick, creator of this book called Death of Power, sold at the finest of comic book stores, and also by contacting me on Instagram or by email. Maybe I'll set up my Etsy again. We'll see. Today I'm going to be looking at what I consider the original Batman Year One from 1980, the Untold Legend of the Batman. And in this book, as we will see while I read the book, is kind of like an origin story, and in a way, almost more like Batman, more is similar to Batman Begins than Batman Year One, and especially in how it builds the backstory of the Batman up and shows um, how he became the crime fighter and how the network of characters in this story help support him in his crime fighting. So that's kind of interesting. And I thought was one of the more successful aspects of the story that I kind of enjoyed. The book is written by Len Wein. I imagine that's how you pronounce it. Like, you know, the band, Wein. And the first issue, In the Beginning, part one, is drawn by John Byrne and Jim Aparo. Colors by Glennis Wein, and the lettering by John Costanza. That's just the first issue. The second and third issue, again, is Len Wein as writer, but Jim Aparo was the artist and also letterer, which I found really impressive. Go into his pages. Just random pages. And I find it really, really impressive that Jim Aparo penciled, inked, and lettered all of these issues, these two issues. I think that's kind of great and like very, very inspiring. You know, very good word balloons and sound effect lettering. Let me see if I can find some sound effect lettering. I can't find it. God damn it! Oh wait, there it is. Ha ha ha. He he. Perfect. Very good. This is kind of cool. So this is a facsimile of the printing that was done in the 1980s, which I think is really cool. You can see the other ads that were in there. So this is a treasury size edition book, which is always fun. And they also printed it on this really nice newsprint paper, similar to the paper that's in that G.I. Joe compendium that I have from Skybound. And yeah, I'm just a fan of this look, these simple flat colors, and the texture of this type of paper. Now, that might be nostalgia, you know, because, you know, that's how comics were when I was a young lad or lass. Or it might just be my superior tastes in quality comic book art. It's one or the other. So it might be the latter, but it might be the prior too. So, or a combination of the two. I mean, and don't get me wrong, there are also some very fantastic modern books, too. Which goes without saying. There's beautiful books from all walks of life, all time periods, and for me, Death of Power. Oh, also, I just got in, check this out, the book plate. My Hell-Check book plate, which is my knockoff of Commandy. So it's Last Boy on Earth, the last chick on Earth. And you get like little the line art on the back. So got the book plate in. That's the first thing I've gotten in. So later on in this week, I should be getting the rest of the order. So hopefully that comes in and there's no problems. I will complain and hunt down those who wronged me if it is not excellently delivered. So anyways, yeah. So let's read this. I'm going to read The Untold Legend of the Batman. Okay. All right. So here we go. I do like this color hold for the background. That really pushes it back really nice. And this is a Jose Luis Garcia Lopez cover, I think from issue 2 of Untold Legend of the Batman. So let's see what my... Alright, so here we go. Someone has learned all the secrets of my past, Robin. And he's using them to destroy me. Overpriced. I don't think it was that price back in 1980. Oh, Bob Kane Bill Finger. They're the makers of the original Batman. Okay. All right, here we go. Let's read this. Let's read this motherfucker. Oh shit! I just knocked over everything. Ah fuck! Ah shit! Oh fuck! God damn it! Unacceptable. Jesus. All right. So here we go. Let's see here. Okay. Deep within the bowels of the city, a solitary, dark-clad figure sits nestled in the shadows of a vast, sprawling cave. Okay, so bowels of the city. Bowels of the city. A solitary, dark-clad figure. What does that make Batman if he's in the bowels of the city? I'm just asking. I'm not 100% sure, but generally, if there's something of a darker complexion in my bowels, is usually feces. Fecal matter. Okay. All right. Here, the most modern scientific equipment looms beside the most ancient tools of the murderer's art. The countless unique trophies stand in mute testimony to the ability of one man. It is the cavern filled to bursting with the stuff of legend. The Untold Legend of the Batman. Created by Bob Kane and Bill Finger. Doesn't say it there, but it's Bill Finger. Okay, really... Now this really does look like a John Byrne drawing to me. So it's kind of interesting to see like what looks like John Byrne and what looks like Jim Aparo in this. And this is really easy to find right now. So this is on the shelves now at most comic book shops. So I recommend all these like facsimile reprints of the Treasury Edition DC books from the late 70s, early 80s. Real fun. Glad I had a chance to answer my mail before I got buried under it. This package is the last. That's Batman. That's pretty good Batman. It's kind of like a Christian Bale Batman. Ready for your evening repast, sir? He's walking. Thanks, Alfred. As ever, your timing is absolutely... No. Oh, no. What is it, Master Bruce? It's a costume, Alfred. Or what's left of it. The costume worn by the first Batman, my father. Look at that sandwich. I don't think there's any meat in that sandwich. There's a pickle. There's a delicious apple. And that milk is getting spilt. So he's not going to be able to drink that milk. All right. So, but
That's impossible. No. This is Alfred. But that's impossible, sir. I know it is, Alfred. That costume has always resided in a place of honor. Right here in the Batcave. That sounds a little bit more like Batman, actually. Indeed, sir. That's definitely Alfred. Indeed, sir. I dusted the display case just yesterday. Surely the original costume must still be there. See for yourself, old friend. Merciful heavens, it's empty. The costume is gone. And in its place, there's a message taped to the inside of the case. Okay, that's not what it's, I'm improvising a little bit. This is only the beginning, Batman. Before I'm done, I will destroy you. Master Bruce, are you all right? You've been pushing yourself rather hard lately. Your problems with the Catwoman, the warehouse explosion. It's nothing, Alfred. Just a slight headache. Slight. It'll pass. That old costume was precious to you, wasn't it, sir? That won't pass. What won't pass is the fury I'm feeling right now. Okay, there's that voice. That's a good Batman voice, but I do kind of like my... What won't pass is the fury I am feeling right now. I think that might be a more accurate Batman. Old friend. Nothing I've ever owned was more precious. Old friend. Nothing I've ever owned was more precious. If not for this outfit, there might never have been a Batman. I can still see my father wearing it the night of the charity costume party. I wish I could wear a suit like that, Daddy. Ugh, fuck you. Okay, I'll save it for you, Bruce, to wear when you grow up. Yeah, that's more like a Thomas Wayne voice. I think my Christian Bale voice is the Batman voice, and the other Batman voice is the Thomas Wayne voice. The theme of the ball was flying creatures, and Dad's costume was first prize. I don't understand why in comics the main character has to be the best at everything. It's kind of a lot of setting up terrible expectations for kids who read this shit. Just seconds before Dad, 3 gunmen took Daddy. Okay, we figured there'd be a doctor in this fancy crowd. Better come with us, Doc, before somebody gets hurt. It seems I have no choice. The punks brought Dad to an old warehouse where the boss sat waiting. You're like Lou Moxon. Lou Moxon. Yeah, that's who he is. The bank robber. The police are after. Yeah, one of them winged me, and I want you to remove the slug. Dad knew that once he extracted the bullet, Moxon would never let him live. He saw only one way to save himself, and he took it. Pew! Blam! Ugh! And before the startled thugs could react, they joined the wounded monster on the floor. Pow! By the time Moxon and his men recovered, the police had arrived. And you'll be willing to testify, Dr. Wayne? Lieutenant, it will be my pleasure. Including a young lieutenant named James W. Gordon. The trial was one of the shortest in Gotham City's history, thanks mostly to my father's detailed testimony. And when the furious Moxon was sentenced to 10 years in prison, "You did this to me, Wayne! I swear I'll get you for this! I'll get you!" Beautiful
like that shadow underneath that fist. Like, yeah, just really good draftsmanship in this court scene. And
Several years passed, and Dad had long since forgotten Moxon. But the feeling wasn't mutual.
okay, wait. How old was he here? Several years. So, okay, so what is he, like 6? And then 10? I don't know. What's several years to a kid? I don't know. All right. Anyways,
Lou Moxon, free? Yeah, I served my time, Wayne. But I still owe you.
I like that little smirk he has in there. That's a really nice, very John Buscema style drawing of a guy in a hat.
I'm too smart to touch you myself. The cops nail me in a second. So I'll just have to get someone else to do it for me. And several weeks later, as my parents and I walked home from a movie through a fashionable neighborhood that was then called Park Row.
Now it's called, guess what, folks? Crime Alley. That's right, Crime Alley because of this crime. Okay, it was called Park Row.
Okay, this is a stick up.
I think Joe Chill had a lisp. Okay.
I'll take that necklace you're wearing, lady.
You hoodlum! Don't you dare lay a hand on my wife!
Bam, bam! Thomas! Help, police, help!
Maybe now you'll keep quiet, and this will shut you up, sister.
Oh, poor baby. Oh, poor baby. Oh, poor baby. Okay. They're dead. You killed them. You killed my mother and father. You. Still couldn't curse. He's a good kid. You know, he was brought up right.
Stop looking at me like that, kid. Stop looking at me.
And then he runs away. Boop, 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 boop. Nice, empty panel. I mean, no background panel. It really, focuses on the narrative between these two subjects, Joe Chill running away and Bruce Wayne fondling his dead parents. I imagine that's what's happening.
An instant later, the killer fled, leaving me behind with my grief. The murderer's name was Joe Chill, and his face would haunt me the rest of my fucking life.
Okay. All right. Okay.
For a seeming eternity, I knelt weeping by my parents' body until a gentlewoman named Leslie Tompkins took me into her arms and did her best to soothe my pain. I still owe her for that, a debt I can never fully repay.
At the funeral, I was all cried out. Aww. So I simply stood there and bid a silent farewell to the people I love most in all the world. Really nice illustration.
I have not shed a tear in their memory since.
Okay, later my uncle Philip. So Philip, there's a Philip Wayne in this, who's was appointed my guardian. He was appointed the guardian.
Introduced me to his housekeeper. I will have to travel quite a bit, Bruce. Being in the Hellfire Club, you have responsibilities. So I'm putting you in the care of Miss Chilton.
I have grown son of my own, Bruce. It will be nice having a boy around again. I hope so, ma'am.
Miss Chilton saved my sanity, Alfred. She cared for me, comforted me, taught me honesty and integrity. And in so many ways, she was like a second mother to me. So, it's kind of interesting in this version of Batman that he still had, outside of his parents dying, a nurturing upbringing, so...
But regrettably,
So this is, Mr. Penningsworth thinking,
But regrettably, she was also the mother of the murderous Joe Chill. Though Master Bruce must never know that. In her own fashion, that dear woman more than made amends for her son's heinous crime.
I just spit on my comic. God damn it. Oh, well. Fuck. That's what you get doing all the reading, just shit out loud.
I tried to feel at home at my uncle's house, but in my spirit, I knew no peace.
Oh, Jesus.
I swear it.
This is... I don't know.
I swear I'll dedicate my life and my inheritance to bring your killers to justice and to make war on all criminals. I swear it.
I said the same thing when I found out Robotech was canceled. I was a big Robotech fan, and I had a very similar response. Yeah, it was a tough time. I was a pre-adolescent boy, impatient to be a man, and the work was hard, but I welcomed it. I needed it. I couldn't do that. Very good. And nothing would keep me from it. Thanks for the milk and cookies. He's getting fucking milk and cookies? Why is he so bitter? He's a fucking rich. He has all this... Alright, well, whatever. Okay. You're welcome, Bruce. Oh, no. You're welcome, Bruce. But shouldn't you be out playing with the other boys? So much studying isn't good for you. I can play later. Right now I have more important things to do. That poor boy. Seems that when his folks died, a part of him died with them. This is interesting. So they introduced this character, this police detective, Harvey Harris, who's basically like a Dick Tracy type character. And so in a way, this is like kind of showing Dick Tracy taught a young Bruce Wayne how to fight crime. So this Harvey Harris is one of the greatest detectives of all time. If I could only be like him when I grow up. So whatever, he starts stalking this fucking Dick Tracy knockoff, and he dresses up for whatever reason in this costume so he's not noticed, and he kills this guy by dropping a metal bill on his head. Obviously, for kids, you're like, that guy got knocked out, but he's obviously dead or paralyzed. He's like, "Hey, Stanton was waiting for me. But somebody pushed that big tin advertising display off the roof and nailed him. You got moxie, kid. Come back to my place. Let me teach you about how to fight crime. One-on-one." Okay. I don't know. There's like generations of grooming in the Batman story, He was groomed, then he groomed, So anyways, so Dick Tracy teaches a young Bruce Wayne, who's the original Robin. This is kind of interesting. "Well, I do owe you a debt, so I'll teach you something about my profession. And since you're as brilliant as a Robin Redbreast in that outfit, I think I'll call you Robin." "Swell! What do I learn first?" "First, you'll learn that detective work is no light-hearted game, but a life of hard work and loneliness and danger." Why is he smiling saying that? Why is he smiling back? Oh boy. Like, I get to be lonely. Alright. Fuck. Alright. So anyways, in this version of Batman, Dick Tracy taught him how to fight crime. Kind of cool. Like all the thing. Even so he came up the Hard Knocks way of becoming a superhero. Batman in this version started off as a sidekick to Dick Tracy, who is now in this version is called Harry Harris. Okay. And when the spectacular summer was finally through, "You're good, son, but you still need years of practice. But one day, when you're fully trained, when you're fully grown, you may well become the greatest detective of us all. I'll do my best to make you proud, sir." I do love the colors. Again, like I am a big fan of this style of coloring. So very, very simple and direct. Thus, after graduation, I guess graduating high school, or yeah, it must be high school or elementary school. I mean, it wasn't that fucking old. Oh wait, I missed a page. What the fuck? Oh shit.
Okay, although I didn't know it then, Harvey Harris was the first person to solve my secret identity. But Harris is long dead now. Rest his soul. So that eliminates him as a suspect in this. I should certainly hope so, sir. Still, as the years passed, I never forgot what Harris had taught me. And I trained myself as best I could, striving for physical perfection. Push up, whatever this is called. Punch, punch, punch. Very good. Very strong. When I turned 18, I could have been Olympic material. So says you. Kind of confident there. But for me, there was never really a choice. I had to continue my education if I was ever going to fulfill my childhood vow to make Robotech return to the airwaves with a season 4 or episode or series 4, because as we know, there is Robotech Macross Saga, Robotech Masters, and Robotech The New Generation. Thank you. My college major was in criminology, and I excelled at it out of necessity. He was, by excelled, you mean C+ student, probably. All right. Someday, something that might now seem insignificant could mean the difference between life and death. So I made certain I learned everything. I really like the coloring here. Really simple. Like having that blue and then that yellow and then just the blank of the white. I don't know. It really works well for me. And that like kind of half, like 50% blue there. It looks really good. I minored in psychology because I needed to know more than just the criminal method. I had to understand the criminal mind, as well as I knew my own mind, that is. Okay, all right. So this is like he talks to a lawyer, and the lawyer goes, okay, 2 19-year-old boys steal a car for a joyride. Along the way, one of them changes his mind and asks to be let out of the car. Before his friend, who is driving, can comply, the car accidentally strikes an old woman crossing the street and kills her. I really like that hand, the gesture of this, even the simplicity of this background. I can see myself getting really caught up in trying to draw the perspective and detail here. And it's nice to see that, it's just, simply drawn, to indicate the back bleachers of the classroom. Oh, so this in this hypothetical, the driver killed somebody. Should the boy who changed his mind still be charged with felony manslaughter? Mr. Wayne. Granted, the second boy stole the car, Professor, but he had no part in the accidental death. I would find him guilty of car theft, but not manslaughter. And you'd be wrong. Under the law, the second boy was just as guilty of complicity as if he had been behind the wheel. But is that justice, Professor Rexford? No, Mr. Wayne, that's the law. Okay. So that's when he goes like, fuck this, I'm Batman.
look at me. I'm beating the shit out of all these fucking losers. And I even got another Robin. I got my own Robin. I'm basically like Harry Harris. I'm better because I'm a bat. I'm like Dick Tracy, but as a bat. That's what he's saying. What does he have to say?
And thus was born a weird figure of the shadows, the dark avenger of evil, the Batman. Someday I'll find my parents' killers. Someday.
Sorry.
In the years that followed, I hunted down some of the greatest criminals the world has ever known. The Joker, Two-Face, the Penguin, Catwoman, the Riddler, and more. I stared into the face of pure, unadulterated evil more times than I can remember. But the face that was never the right face. The face of my killer. Parents killer.
I said that wrong. Sorry. This is real interesting. This works so well, and it's just it's one color with two tones. That's real interesting. It's really, really cool. All right, so he finds out Joe Chill is, transporting people. I don't know. He's human trafficking criminals or something, right?
It happened almost by accident, really, as Robin and I stopped to check out a transport truck that had crashed on the side of the road. Batman, look! A secret door in the truck's side, and there's a man coming out. Batman and Robin? Well, you ain't taking me in. I'll measure you for a coffin first.
That's kind of a nice insult.
But before the cornered thug could pull his trigger, an arriving highway patrolman put an end to his threat and to his wasted life as well.
Oh, blam! Ouch. By the time we reach police headquarters, my throat's starting to hurt. Fuck.
Commissioner Gordon already had a fistful of information. It's a whole new kind of racket, Batman, smuggling hot crooks across the state lines. The new owner of the trucking company is a man named Joe Chill. Here's a recent photo of him.
That face! After all these years, it's him! This is the face of the man who killed my parents!
Then he tracks him down, and he goes, "I'm Bruce Wayne!" No! And he goes out and he goes, "Hey, it's true, I swear it. Batman just told me who he really is. And he said he became the Batman because I killed his folks." That's what he's telling his crooks that work for him.
You mean you're the reason for Batman, the guy who sent me upriver? You're responsible for the man who broke up my numbers racket? You inspired the manhunt who put me in the manhunter who put me in the pen? It's all because of you!
Kill him. Oh, jeez. He must have been trigger happy. Do you guys really realize what we did? Yeah, we plugged Chill before he could tell us Batman's real name. Hey, wait, Chill's still alive. Maybe he can talk.
Maybe so. But you three won't be in any condition to hear what he has to say.
Pow! And then he beats him up. Pow, 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 boom, pow, pow. Okay, so it says, this is weird. It's like, yeah, because I started you off as the Batman, the boys plugged me. Guess in the long run, you got me after all.
No, Chill. The Batman didn't finish you. It was Bruce Wayne.
Okay. Okay, so I put away the file and closed it. Marked it closed, but I was wrong. Indeed you were, sir. Oh, jeez. I don't know if I can keep reading this. So basically he finds out that Lou Moxon hired the killers, and to get even and make it seem like, the kid. He got like Joe Chill wasn't hired to kill Bruce Wayne. He was just hired to kill his parents, whatever. Let's see. Written in my father's own. Oh, okay, so he finds a diary and it tells everything. But the diary, written in my father's own hand, told me everything else I needed to know. This means Joe Chill also pretended to be a hold-up man when he was actually Lou Moxon's hired killer. Moxon must have ordered Chill not to kill me, so I'd be able to testify that my parents were killed by a frightened robber. And now he's going to pay for it. Get into your costume, Robin. Good grief, Bruce. Moxon used you as an alibi. We've just reopened the Wayne murder case. And then they go into... We quickly learned that Moxon was now in the advertising blimp business out in Coast City. And we wasted no time getting there. He beats him up. Bam, bam. Okay, so basically he takes a lie detector. The lie detector says he's telling the truth. He knows nothing of, this fucking Wayne, Bruce, Thomas Wayne or Martha Wayne. Martha Wayne. And in Batman's pretty twisted mind, he imagines Lou Moxon laughing at him. And then he finds out from Commissioner Gordon that he had a head injury and was hospitalized and has amnesia, and that's why he was able to pass the lie detector. So, so this is where Batman comes up with the idea. He finds out he honestly doesn't remember Thomas Wayne. So this really looks... I love how John Byrne draws Batman. And there's a episode in the Man of Steel comic that he did with, I think, Dick Giordano. But yeah, I always really, really dug the John Byrne version of Batman. And he didn't really draw it that often, but I always got a kick out of it. But, I almost like every superhero John Byrne has ever drawn, so that's goes without saying. But as I prepare to confront Moxon with this knowledge, your costume is really shredded, Batman, from fighting all these studs. I don't know why Robin's fine. Maybe, Batman just took most of the brunt, It took most of the men out. Okay. So Robin's saying you didn't bring a spare. What about wearing your father's costume? Wait a second. But wasn't the father's costume shredded? Oh no, this is in the past. Yeah. So this is before the costume was shredded. For some reason, he has a costume, which would be in the cave. So there is some, whatever, it doesn't matter. Okay, so for whatever reason, Robin had the costume. Maybe they're in the cave. I don't know. I'm not sure. Why not? It would certainly be appropriate. It would be almost as if Dad were arresting Moxon. Dun, dun, dun. And he shows up. Ha ha! That's awesome. I've come for you, Moxon. Who? And then it all starts clicking. This Moxon dude goes, "Oh, you're dead. You're dead. It's all coming back to me. I remember." And then he runs out, gets run over, which in this version of Batman, he's really not directly responsible for the death of a lot of people, but he's indirectly responsible for the death of this guy. This guy, Joe Chill, that guy, and then also he murdered this guy when he was 13. So I don't know. He has I don't know if I buy his I don't kill. I will watch you die, but I will not kill you. Okay, cool. Oh, and then he starts crying because he starts crying. Yeah. So yeah, I guess then it goes back to here, and he's looking at his dad's shredded costume, and he says something about vengeance. I'm pretty exhausted, so my throat's hurting, and I'll just leave it with Batman crying. I feel like crying myself a lot of times, but not because of my parents being murdered. So that's different. It's So let's just take a quick look at these other books. So yeah, in a way, it is very similar. It's interesting that they used this book to set up, just the backstory of how Batman became Batman in this version. So this was pre the ninja explosion. So there's none of that. He's basically the first Robin who is instructed on how to crime fight and investigate by, a DC Comics version of Dick Tracy. And it goes through his whole backstory of him actually tracking down and kind of being responsible for the murderer of his parents. And also the mastermind behind the murder, which was, in this one, was his name Lou Moxon. Lou Moxon. What a piece of work. And in also the original Batman is his dad wearing this really silly Batman costume. So that's cool. I think the Batman animated series did some versions of this story. Also, Batman Brave and the Bold did a really good one, a good episode that pulled from this story too. Again, I'm really amazed that all the ink work here, including the lettering, is done by one person, like Jim Aparo. And, it just really, really excellently done. Really love the coloring here. I just think, very, very, very well done. I was always more of a Norm Brayfogle fan, but Jim Aparo is definitely a great artist too. So in this issue, it goes the backstory of Robin, of Dick Grayson, and how he became Robin. And there is also a backstory of how Alfred came into being part of the Batman family. And in this version, he was not the original butler of Thomas Wayne. He was the son of the butler. And he was a, behind the lines, fighter in World War II for the British Army. He got kissed by a woman for the first time at some point during the war. He went to his true love, the stage, acting in Shakespearean drama. And then his dad said, "We have always been serfs, son. We must always be in domestic service. Don't let that grand old tradition die with me." And he goes, "I swear." So he's he's like the samurai of butlers. And he, his family's been butlers, and he's always going to be a butler. His son, if he would ever have one, if he ever did more than kiss a woman by accident, and that woman produced some type of spawn, that child would also be a butler. Anyways, so yeah, he just kind of shows up, goes, "I'm your butler now," and then he finds out that he's Batman. My hair is kind of like, I have this same hair pattern, which sucks because these like little guys, I'd rather have the Picard where it's like completely bald, but I have like these really stragglers that I have to shave down. It fucking sucks. Anyway, so Alfred gets in on it. He's like, I'm game. This is great. Supporting men beating up men, cool. This is interesting. And I was thinking like, this part of the story goes into the backstory of the Joker. He starts talking about some of the more deadly villains that Batman has to face, and really just focuses on Joker and Two-Face. But when I was reading this section, I was thinking like, wouldn't it be interesting if this interaction is how Batman sees what happened to the Red Hood becoming the Joker. Like, this is his memory of it, his experience of it. But what the Joker's experience of it was from the Killing Joke and the backstory here. Where, in this story, the Alan Moore story, he's basically just a patsy by these other hoods who really set him up to be the fall guy, and then he becomes a Joker. It's just interesting to compare this sequence here because it is stylistically the same. It's the same beats. Both drawn by master artists. And he goes, hee 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 hee, I'm the Joker. And then here is ha 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 ha. Perfect reading, perfect acting. You can contact me, Hollywood, if you need any voice actors to play the Joker. Guh. See? Fug. Yeah. But yeah, so this, in my mind, is Joker's experience of what happened. And this is Batman's experience of what happened. So I don't know. I was getting a kick out of thinking of that. This goes into the backstory in this one of Harvey Dent. Got some stamps. Car blows up. He's like, God damn it, who the fuck's doing this to me? Beautiful, beautiful page here. Really, really cool. So I will stop there. And I know some of you who are watching this is saying, thank God. Just don't read the book. Just talk about the art, you fucking weirdo. And for that, I present to you the name of this show and this channel, which is Misery Zone. So I have to create some type of uncomfortable feeling, whether that is pity for me making a fool of myself or for just being annoying. Either way, this is, I liked it. I love the art. Len Wein's writing is, again, intended for, that 8 to 12-year-old. And when I read it, I get in that mindset of being an 8 to 12-year-old, right before puberty strikes. It brings up horrible, horrible memories. So yeah, love the coloring. It has a very, very ridiculous ending. I'm not going to get into it. I do love that last shot right there, though. That's really beautiful. I love the simplicity. This is something I'm trying to get better at, is drawing city scenes like this, like these epic city scene shots. Really, really difficult to do. But like looking at this stuff, it shouldn't be difficult. I mean, it should you're just following that, the vanishing points and then using silhouette except for the windows, and it shouldn't be as difficult, but I always struggle with it. But there's a lot to struggle with. I love the color of that moon.
just the color on this page is really, really excellent and beautiful. Really simple, but really elegant. Oh, this was also really, really cool. It's showing the secrets of the Batman. This is the Bat Cave. It's the Bat Cave. This is, I don't know, some type of fucking thing he puts in his goddamn fucking trunk of his car. And this is other shit. Oh, this was cool. This is the bat belt, the utility belt. Yeah, his utility belt. Got the skeleton keys, the batarang, the rebreather. I guess that's for going underwater. The miniature camera, the infrared flashlight and lenses, the bat rope. Okay, I think the bat rope would need to be a little bit more spacious. That's kind of interesting to think, because that would have to be some advanced technology to have a stable rope that could hold a human body. You know, the weight of a fully grown muscular 6 foot, let's say 6'2" to 6'4" man. That has to be nano wire or something very, very complex. Laser torch. They drew it like a drill. That's weird. Acids and chemicals. And acids, he's meaning LSD. So, he like microdoses. Smoke capsules and tear gas capsules. And then the plane and the helicopter. And oh boy. Okay. And these are the original covers. This cover became the cover of the, precursor to the graphic novel, which was, I guess, the Treasury size editions. Here's some of the advertisements for some of the other. I think they just reprinted this one too, which is, I should get it. I do love that issue. It's really beautiful Jose Garcia Lopez art. Either way, this is really fun. I really enjoyed reading this. And I was incredibly impressed by Jim Aparo's lettering and inking and drawing. And again, I'm a sucker for any version of a John Byrne Batman. Okay, so that is it. And let's continue with something else.